Sorry. School's going on, got to take a break and help out. All right, I'm back. So we were talking about extinction. So that's if your child won't take no for an answer, or they're throwing a fit, or the way they get gummies is they throw themselves on the floor and scream, whether they can speak or not, or if it's just not time to have them. So you're saying, no, not right now. And they just throw themselves on the floor and scream. You are supposed to turn your back on them and ignore it. You're not supposed to make eye contact. You're not supposed to say anything. Nothing. You give them nothing. Now, let's go to a regular adult. You're at the bank. There's been a mistake. Or you just want your money and they're saying, we don't have any, whatever it is. If you're demanding it, it's in your mind, it's yours and you want it and you're demanding it. And they just say, they don't even tell you anything. They just turn their back on you, right? Like no human being should be treated that way, right? And there are good elements to extinction, but only if it's used in a way that makes sense, right? If the bank were to look at you and say, listen, I'm sorry, our computers are down. I can't get your money out right now. I mean, I can send you an email as soon as we're up. I can do this, that. You're going to be okay with that, right? Or maybe you have to pay a bill right now and you're going to freak out. Well, then you need to learn to manage your emotions, because obviously you have no power in this moment. You just don't, right? And that's the acceptance we're trying to get to these kids is, in the moment that I said no gummies, you have to learn to accept that when I say no, it's just no, right? Then tell them that. Even if your child doesn't speak, they understand complex concepts. They understand your words. A lot of times if kids don't talk, we say, you do. We don't talk to them in full sentences like, hey, can you come do this, right? We think, oh, since they can't talk, they don't understand. Not true at all. Most nonverbal kids are really great at complex sentence structure, right? There will be kids that I'll test, right? Because a lot of autistic kids won't come if you call their name. But if you say, come look what I got, boom, they are right beside you. But they don't understand you do this, and you have to say, you do. So test your kid. Try that. They maybe they don't speak very much, or they don't speak very clear, or whatever. Say long concept sentences like that to them and see what happens, or I'm going to cook some food. Come and tell me what in the fridge, what you want. Is your kid right there? Right? Because a lot of times when I did this for companies, they would say, they would not allow me to do that. They would say, no, you need to speak in 3-word sentences. You need to use 5 words, no, just talk, see if they understand. Don't start with something that's limiting. Right? Let's go up here and see where we need to meet you at, right? So maybe you didn't understand, I'm going to make some dinner, come in the kitchen, but you could shorten the sentence. What happens? Shorten the sentence. What happens, right? Don't start with less. Start with more and bring it down if you need to. But I think a lot of people will find out, as I did, because these kids teach me every day. Only thing I know stuff is because they taught me. They will teach you. I'm not dumb, right? I hear you. I just can't speak. I understand what you're saying. I just can't make my voice work. So we need to understand that. It's like yelling at a blind person, right? We have to get this understood first. Before you let a therapist into your house, you need to already know so that you can direct them. Hey, they understand complex sentences, so please don't talk to them like they don't understand. It actually brings down their confidence and makes learning harder. It makes them not want to learn. It makes them feel like I can't do anything, right? You're talking to me like I'm an animal, like I don't understand, right? And you, as young as 2, I mean, you can be like, come over here and see what I got. Boom, they are on you. But when you're trying to get them to do something where you're like, you do it now. Or it's your turn, or hey, come over here and do this with me. Then they act like they don't understand. Understand yourself. They don't want to come over there. You're not interesting enough, right? Whatever you got, they're not interested in. Or they're hyper focused on what's in front of them and they don't even see what you have. So you have to kind of walk around to their face and go, look what I got, come follow me, right? a lot of parents, a lot of grown-ups are just afraid of being animated. They're embarrassed to dance. They're embarrassed to sing. They're embarrassed, like not at all. Not at all. Kids want to go boo ba ba, I'm going to be like boo boo ba ba right back at them, smiling, giving them that confidence. Remember, you're putting value on what they can do, instead of always talking about what our goal is and how we're going to get to it and what you can't do and how we have to modify. And stop that. I promise it's so much easier to just lead with the simplicity, with let me see where you're at and then meet you right there. Again, you might not understand a 10-word sentence, but you might be good with 5, and everybody around you is using 3. And how will you grow? How will you grow? So in extinction, when your child says, I want gummies, or they're pointing and whatever, and then you're like, no, it's not time. And they're like, ah, on the floor. You look at them on the floor, and eye contact or not, it doesn't matter. Just speak to your child or speak to who you're giving care to and say, hey, let me know when you're ready, friend. You can be mad. That's okay. It's not going to get gummies. Or a lot of times I'll say, you can be mad, but it won't change it, friend. Let me know when you're ready. Get yourself together, and I'll find something else fun for us to do. And we'll get gummies at blah o'clock or whatever. They understand this concept and all the words coming out of your mouth. And then you turn your back. But you can I'm still watching you, if your kid is someone that tears everything off, like, blah, I love that when you're like, I want gummies. No, friend, it's not time for gummies right now. And they're like, body block. Just walk over to that shelf or whatever it is and just stand in front of it, kind of look up. Let them know, hey, friend, this is not going to change it. I still can't give you gummies until 2 o'clock. Okay, 2 o'clock is gummy time. And you want to use this. You want to give them the empathy. I understand this is hard for you right now, but it's just not going to change it. And you only say it once. And then you say, you start to navigate away, or you start just doing something, like, oh, we're kind of watching. I'm like, let me know when you're ready, friend. It takes about 3 times of you actually doing that, giving them the information of how they can change it. You're telling them, I'm sorry, you're giving the empathy. I'm sorry, I know you want that, but it's just not time. But I'm not going to sit here and give you attention during your fit, or I'm not going to be in your fit with you, or I'm not going to let the energy of your fit even change my mood, right? This is your emotion. It should not be affecting me. I shouldn't get upset because you're upset. I know that's hard. A lot of people tell me, Candy, that is so much easier said than done. And I just do it effortlessly. But I guess it all comes down to, I can never be mad at a child. There's nothing a child could do that would make me internally angry, especially somebody else's kid. I might have my own kids. Right? Not especially since they're grown-ups. But no, you're here to learn. You're here to get this concept. You're here to learn to manage your emotions and learn what's valuable, right? So coming and doing your work, maybe I'll give you your gummies 15 minutes early. It's cooperation. I will give something, and I'll let you know. So when you're done throwing your fit, so I'm sitting over here and they're like, ah, and I've already said, let me know when you're ready, friend. I'm really sorry you can't have them right now. It's just not time. But let me, when you're okay with that, you let me know. And I've got all this fun stuff to do, right? And I'm over here playing with it. Like, cool, get something out and start playing with it that they love. And they'll stop and they'll come over to you. And then you'll say, oh, you want to do this too? Oh, cool. That'll be fun. And then play with them for a little bit, and tell them, hey, give them that goal. Say, all right, if you finish this, as soon as you finish this, and you're gauging time, you're figuring out how many hours or whatever your schedule is. Like for me, it's pack gummies. It's like, if I can get 25 minutes, if you can get yourself together and you can come over here and do 25 minutes of work, your reward is going to be those gummies, no matter what time it is. Okay. And no, I'm not going to do that all day long. Because again, I'm using gummies just as an example, but really it's anything. Your favorite little alien guy, maybe it's not geography day or science day, but you really love this. So I'm going to get it and I'm going to set it where you can see it. And I'm going to say, okay, 25 minutes of this and you can have this. Okay. No worries, bro. Hey, you earned it, right? Because that's what your job would do, right? We all go to work to get paid. Nobody out here does anything without reward. So this is not bargaining. This is not, a lot of people like to chime in and say, oh, sounds like you're just, bartering with this kid or whatever. You're like, yeah, because that's what life is. It's called cooperation. I want to pay my rent. You need your kid babysat. That's it. It's that simple. And if we take that simplicity and give it to a toddler all the way to the age I am today, which is old enough to have 3 adult children, the sky's the limit on that. You guys just don't understand. It is not, you are not giving up. Like we think that, I'm not going to bargain with this kid because they're just going to listen to what they're going to do what I say. You can lead with that and you can be in that, but just know if somebody tried to dominate you that way at your age as a grown-up, most people would not go over well. So we don't need to dominate our kids. We need to let them find their way, right? While we encourage that and we set boundaries. That was my boundary. I'm not giving you gummies right now. Even if you throw a fit, I'm not going to give them to you right now, right? But I'm willing to cooperate. If you want to get them early, stop throwing a fit, get your booty over here and let's do some work, That's a win-win. And I guess that's my biggest secret sauce is I'm not bargaining with anyone. I am in cooperation all the time. I am willing to cooperate. And I think as caregivers, if you walk into an environment, whether it's a child or a grown-up, because I've given care for adults with cerebral palsy and different things, and it's no different. It's you want a piece of cake, but your sugar's really high, right? Then you don't want to talk about it, right? So it's not right now. It's going to be a no. But there's so many elegant ways to get to that doesn't soften or take away from that. But it does teach us how to manage our emotions when the bank won't give us that money, right? Because fast forward to that, and that's why we have people who lose it. YouTube's full of people who've just lost it, right? Because we are not leading with this anymore. We are not leading with cooperation anymore. We are not leading with explanation. Children deserve an explanation. No, you can't have that right now because it's not time. Okay, you can be mad. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to be sad. Let me know when you're ready so that they can self-regulate and learn that value is placed on saying, okay, I can wait, or asking, what can I do to get them early because I really want them? Are you going to say no? Why? That is the best cooperation. When your kid can do that, what can I do? What can I do to get that early? That's the most beautiful point for any caregiver or any parent to be with their child, because their child is, first of all, trusting in your cooperation. They trust you. They trust that you're going to live up to it if they can somehow get you in cooperation with them. The table has turned. They are trying to convince you to be in cooperation. That's when you gotta look at yourself and be like, oh gosh, okay, yeah, it's not that serious, right? And I'm sure there's gonna be things that are serious. You're cooking dinner and they want a grilled cheese sandwich. Again, to me, they say I'm a different bird. Wouldn't matter. Here's a grilled cheese. You can eat that tomorrow. Whatever. I have a lot more of a laid back, and it's just from doing this from so long, because I wasn't in the beginning. You have to get there. You have to start asking yourself, what am I placing value on? Right? So we did banding, tacting, extinction. Those are the top ones. Now you have all these reinforcement charts in which I use them. I like the ones, you know, that peel the Velcro, and you know, every 5 minutes you get one, and you can, you know, work up to getting something like, you'll see those differential treatment things. There's a lot of terminology around a chart, a lot of crazy terminology over a chart, a Velcro chart that just says, you know, whatever it says. You did your chore. Here, you get a token. They're just token charts. Everything is about, for them, like for a lot of providers, it's about compliance. How many times did you just do what I said, right? And that's what those charts are for. Or how I needed you to sit in this chair for 20 minutes. So I'm going to give you a sticker for every 5 minutes you sit here, right? And that is some kind of, and it's going to lead up to something like tablet time or whatever. It's sort of cooperation, but not really, because you're not really giving the child any kind of choice. You know, as far as, unless you started out with, do you want to do this or this, right? Always make sure you're in cooperation. Always make sure. Because if you are, sky's the limit. See you next time.